Hello, hello everybody. A very good evening. So today we shall be discussing something which is most relevant in this age. So something which curates a perfect blend of technology, your uh, use cases, as well as the flavor of artificial intelligence. And we shall be talking about how we can build our custom, uh, message center uh, from ourselves, or maybe for small businesses, or even scaling up to larger businesses. So the use case is pretty simple as it sounds. Uh, User should be interacting with all her options via a single, facade, which means a single screen where the user can put the command as natural text. What has to happen is he should get everything done. Not only get the information, but he will get everything done uh, on behalf of the of herself or himself to uh, to lessen the friction of day-to-day life. That is what I wanted to do because I know how painful it might be for somebody to continue working and simultaneously manage your, domestic life. Because today everything we need is dependent on mobile. For example, if you're ordering medicine, you have to either, use an application on your smartphone, uh, or even if you are ordering food, you have to go ahead and get something like Swiggy or Zomato or some other platform to order food and get it delivered home. However, uh, the trouble is that it's not about the problems with the apps that we use. It's about, when you are working on something, you're focusing on something, your focus is drifting and shifting to different other activities. And smartphone, believe me, is one of the biggest causes of, distraction of one's focus. Now, whatever, however, I will be sorry, I have a bad cold today. So I'll be discussing how we can at least try to lessen the friction of your life by uh, to not allowing yourself to go and pick up your mobile phone and at least order food, at least to order food or to get something delivered, or maybe even I know today's people are very much uh, very much, I'll say, obsessed with instant messaging. So platforms like Telegram, WhatsApp have been evolving, have been, just like Press, or maybe that's the need. Be it whatever, be whatever it is, uh, our goal will be to lessen the friction, so you won't have to, just, or WhatsApp somebody. Uh, Manually by searching the contact and let's say I'm ordering medicine, so I have to call up the guy at the pharmacy if I'm not using an application, however. So that medications and all list of medicines I'll do WhatsApping him, right, for example. But what if I could just tell, hey, order the medicines or refill the medicines for my mother? So let AI at least do this much things, right, for us to lessen the friction of life. So it's not only for IT people who need to focus. Everybody does. Everybody does, be it whichever background it is, behavior, whichever subject of interest one has. Attention is our focus is one of the lost arts. And I'm afraid that it will soon be, obliterated in majority of our population. However, so let's not give on a debate on those things. So today the thing is like I want simply to no send a WhatsApp because let's say automate a few things. For example, on occasion, what we have to do, we have to send some messages. Nowadays, text message is more or less becoming a fossil, uh, other than the banking users or other OTP or some OTP that are sent from different legal or I'll say some no, I'll say but I don't catch the exact word, but what we get is that other than a few cases, SMS is something it has become a less common way of communication, and what we go ahead with WhatsApp or Telegram. However, WhatsApp is still a way ahead, miles ahead. Uh, at least what I see in my surrounding. So I should be able to, just send a message, like send it to those people, send a message to these people, and even I don't want to compose the messages or just mention the key fact or key subject in the message. Let the artificial intelligence, or I'll say that the LLM, elaborate it on and send it accordingly. However, the task mm, can be not so simple, uh, though it sounds to be. So we have to code it a little, take help of something. So there are three components. One is the LLM, which will be responding back to you, and there is another one that is within your code, but still associated with the things that you get to get done by get for the user, that is known as functions or tools, right? So, and there is, and nevertheless, you have your business logic or your functional requirement that again you have to put down in somewhere in the code. So, regardless of whatever technology you are using, whatever stack you are using, if you are using Python, of course, you have a little coding, and it's a fairly established platform for such things. However, we have now we have seen a tremendous growth of the popularity of options in JavaScript framework, right? Both front end and back end, which let us communicate with the different common LLMs. So those things have been already built because we know that LLM can interact over REST APIs or even I'll say HTTP APIs. So given that we need a communication over HTTP, we're good at using the server to server or server to client communication, and JavaScript or anything, any language, any framework can handle that. Maybe uh, they differ in performance and a few trivial cases, but still, it's not something that cannot be done. Even you can go ahead and curl it or use a postman to get most of the things done. But still, the user will be a layman, and I don't want my parents or my elderly members of my family to go ahead and pick up, curl, right? So that's not possible, and that's not what we intend. So what we can do instead is give it a UI very much similar to a chat UI, or maybe similar to your Copilot UI or your Gemini UI. So UI is less important to me, but what matters is that you should be able to give the request or basically uh, communicate the user's message to the LLM server side, and server side sends it to the LLM, right? It can be done in many ways, but the way I see it, like the communication happens from a browser, right? And the request hits the server. Server, we have a program over there, and what happens is at the server side, by some internal things that happen, what I will cover in some of the sessions that are coming up next week, or maybe this week, or maybe next to next week, right? So today I'll keep it only for demonstration, because once we see the demonstration, the idea about the functionality becomes clear. So we don't have to get into that much depth again to debate our focus, right? So our focus can remain on the core subject of our core topic of discussion. Uh, However, now, suppose I have a communication coming from the browser and it's to the server. Server takes a decision, sends it's to the LLM. LLM decides that your application should call uh, some logic with certain these and these parameters, and to send you execute that function. Function can be a method, anything. Uh, then optionally send the back response back to the server, means LLM server, then let LLM work on it and give it back to you. However, so if we look at it, I'm just checking on if we have the whiteboard option showing up, because the time I checked it, it was not working for some reason. Maybe this time it's showing up in the menu. Yeah, don't know why. However, so it's loading. Possibly you should be able to see my screen, right? So what we have over here is I'm just seeing for here. Right. Mm, okay. So what we have over here is a browser. I have this browser. Excuse me for my handwriting. So what happens is the request comes over here. It can be over HTTP, make it HTTPS if you want security. And anyway, so my concern is not on that as of now. So here is your applications. I'm sorry, so your server, server. So what is happening here is this. What happens here is that, well, so we have another thing component over here, that is the LLM. Here we have L, A, right? So this is what happens is the server has some application, server runs some your application, that is your code. That is your code. And what's happening is incoming request, your application, or basically controller, service layer, and optional repository layer, or basically the layers that we commonly see over here. Uh, they carry forward the prompt. The prompt and everything will cover some other day prompt, right? So it goes over there. The LLM gives something to it, something. I When I say something, which it means that it needs some more details, and I am not going that in that depth today. Now, it it tells it what to do, what to what what, and this piece of code gets executed, and you have two options. One is to directly send that response back to the client, which is the browser, or you can just have it another round trip with LLM, asking LLM to prepare a response and and then that relay that accordingly to your browser. So anyway, both works. So this is what we want to achieve. Now, the question that invariably comes over here is whether we what we choose up. How does it look and where do we get these components? So I think today we have all the answers like LLM. Everybody knows that we have LLMs where uh, we can access the cloud APIs. For example, the ones that OpenAI or Llama or Hugging Face, right? Or sorry, Hugging Face provides you with. Maybe OpenAI Chat GPT perhaps uh, will restrict you uh, and ask you for some predicted information and will ask you to purchase some credit whenever you want to access it by an API. But there are some other things, others which provide perhaps free. I have not tested because I am running all uh, these things on my local infrastructure only. However, I am running the LLM on my local, and also I'm running one application which I am not going to discuss in depth. So that is something known as Waha server. That is something an unofficial server uh, to communicate with WhatsApp over HTTP API. So anyway, so that is something like if I want to send an SMS I'm sorry, send a text on WhatsApp to somebody, I should be calling an API. So that is what I will do over here. And that is also running on my local. And I have configured that server to assume one of my relatives, or I'll say my let's WhatsApp number using that today. Uh, so and what okay, so the main part is what type of application or what stack for application am I going to write? So for the front end that runs in the browser, I have simply used HTML5 and CSS, and I have used some mechanism known as server-side streaming. Well, we'll come to that, but we have not used anything fancy or anything other than vanilla JavaScript or vanilla HTML. I have not got into any frameworks on the browser side. On the on the server side, however, I have used Java technology. So why it may still be a little surprising why I chose it over Python. Uh, the answer is like it's my personal choice because I am more proficient in Java and I don't uh, personally, uh, I'll say like it as much as I like Java. Please, I repeat, I do not like it as much as I like Java. However, um, so Python is again a very good language. It's a language for everybody. It can be used for quick prototyping. However, Python is very easy to learn, and of course, it's not that we do not I don't code in Python, but still, Java is my first choice because I work on it every now and then. So who wants to come out of I'll say zone of comfort when your prime focus is on a different technology, right? So currently, and one more thing, like I chose Spring Framework and Spring Boot specifically with Spring AI to make this application up and running. Now, uh, while Spring AI is not that much unknown as it used to be 1 year ago, right? In last few months, if I see, it has been evolving and it's gaining popularity because people have understood that it can do wonderful things. And to state in the race, Java has adapted itself uh, or I'll say a Spring framework has adapted itself to provide that support. Uh, However, Spring AI, there is one nice thing about Spring AI. It is agonistic to the broker. I'm sorry, I said broker because earlier I uh, um, well, I have not perhaps discussed about it on a video because there is something like Spring Cloud Stream. So while it was easier, or maybe sometimes it made more sense to have a more fine-grained control on a broker like a Kafka or RabbitMQ, right? By using native Java libraries or Spring libraries for them, it made more sense for day-to-day use cases uh, to become neutral of the broker because today I'm using Kafka, but the day after I might uh, go back to use RabbitMQ, saying that maintaining Kafka isn't that much easy as I had thought. So such things might happen every now and then. So, however, Spring Cloud Stream did give me a way to work on most of the use cases that we came across or we come across, right, on a day-to-day basis without caring about the underlying broker and its complexities. So it's something like it's again an abstraction, and you don't have to really care about what we are using. So Spring AI, similar to Spring Cloud Stream, it abstracts away uh, uh, the language model, LLM, that you are working on, right? Because OpenAI might differ in terms of the API contract or the way it communicates, right? It might differ with another providers. So that way, Spring AI does give you the freedom to work agnostic of independent of the language models. However, Spring AI is still evolving. I'll stay still. It is in its infant state, though it is capable of doing things, but still it is in its infant state. And while it's evolving, there are a lot more things will come up. A lot of more things will happen. Oh, still, there may be a few edge cases which Spring AI is yet to accommodate. But anyway, so let us go ahead and see the demonstration. So let's see. See, I have the application running over here, and here I am just this is something. This UI, this UI will give you the access to. So let's see. Okay. Let's see what's happening. Here's what happened. See, if we look at the logs, sharing has some issues. See what happened is we message sent to three contacts, right? So if we look at the logs, what we shall be seeing is that we application started up. However, let me clear it because my sharing was not on. Perhaps send uh, evening message to. Let's see what happens in the end. See what is happening. Good evening. And if you look at uh, my WhatsApp screen, you'll see that I have a good evening message from here. Well, let's see. I'm sure you can see it. See, possibly you could read it right. Uh, Possibly we are able to see it. Yeah, my filter is you see, let's see. And, but again, that may be background. However, however, learning again. No, no. This is what you are saying here. So I got that message. Now, if you look at now, you might have question like why I call I pronounce something like server-side streaming, server-side events, SSC. What is that? That's something like it's a communication which keeps the connection open from one end, and whenever there is something worthy to note, the server updates the client. It's like it's not like WebSocket. WebSocket is a full, I'll say, a bidirectional communication, but server-side event is unidirectional communication. Basically, the events happen in the server end, and the server sends it back to the browser or the client. And the way we see the responses coming on our traditional applications like Copilot or any other chat client, we see that everything is coming not at one shot, because in that way we should be uh, in that way we should be blocking the request and losing the scalability and the response time, and that will eventually not be of any good performance. So server sent event will just help you retrieve the things chunk by chunk, so as not to overwhelm the system at the server end, and also you will have a better user experience. So better than not receiving anything, you should have something at least. Then the moment you have read them out, right, you have gone through them, another chunk will possibly have arrived. So that's what. Now if we, let's say, send, or let's say I want write 5 sentences about sentence. I think yeah, that should be picked up. Even if I don't correct, right? 5 sentences about what I should say is uh, agentic AI in everyday life, and send to our family. Our family is the group name. That will be. Now, if you look at it, uh, see, this is pending because it's trying to generate, because a few things will happen over here, because the LLM will generate 5 sentences about agentic AI, and that will be sent to uh, uh, the WhatsApp group. Now, if we look at the logs, let me uh, see. We look at them. 5 sentences. See, we have received those messages. Now I clear the log. Now see, I can automatically manage your home appliances like turning on lights and adjusting thermostat based on your preferences. It can help plan your day, or it has written exactly 5 lines, and it's sending to. So this is a method. It has successfully sent the messages. Now, if you look at it, this has, see, so event stream, not just a single message, right? So here you are not perhaps getting, or I'll say perceiving why SSC uh, uh, rather than a traditional REST call has been made, because the content is really that very simple, and uh, but um, if it is big enough, would have seen them, coming in chunks. So if you look at the headers, it's, see, uh, event text hyphen slash event stream. That's the mine, right? And the payload is the same as I had given in chat stream. So that's it. So let's see a few things in the code, like we have a controller, we have some model, uh, we have some tool. Well, I have something like, well, let's see. We have another tool as well. Uh, but however, I'm not using that tool here. So we could just see this in action here as well, get my information. So if, let's say, hold, insert, I generate a test for this. Okay. Because I'm not integrating that in the API, but that for here. So the other day we'll discuss about the codes and everything. So the idea is that it should be giving some information about myself. So uh, it will uh, it will refer to this, right? It will refer to this key value pair, right? I have given a static data just for easing the demonstration. So get me information. If you look at it here, it simply uh, receives my information like age, city, country, and profession, and it tries to make up. So anyway, so it will test. We will see that auto-word, well, auto-word, private, chat service, chat service, private, chat service, ask questions. So I was just wondering where I have kept that tool, new tool, where I have used them. Well, new tool, well, ask question. So ask question, right? So I can just use this method ask question in the string. So it will test. Let's say